After seeing Chunky, a small dog, a Chihuahua cross-breed, the workers of the Animal Protection Organization realized, this is the worst thing they have ever seen. 15-year-olds stole little Chunky and bullied him. They say the guys were under the influence of drugs. The young people clearly enjoyed watching the dog suffer in agony. First they broke the animal's paws. Then they set fire to his muzzle. Before throwing the dog in the trash, the fiends fed him drugs. Chunky was still a puppy. It's amazing how he managed to survive after all this. Fortunately, the dog was found by veterinarians from the Animal Protection Agency. Carolyn Dew, a veterinarian, said, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen. Even thinking about it, a shiver runs down my spine." The boys confessed to what they had done, tried to justify themselves by saying that they were under the influence of drugs. But it is simply impossible to forgive such a thing. The puppy's condition was too severe. The worst thing is that Chunky had to wander the streets for a long time with broken paws and burn marks all over his body. The dog was trying to find a safe corner for himself. "I'll never forget how scared he was when I first saw him," says Carolyn. The dog's injuries were so severe that, despite powerful anesthetics, he had to endure terrible pain for 6 days. The owner of the chunk was informed about the incident. Despite everything, he was very happy that his beloved dog would soon return home again. Chunky's wounds slowly began to heal, the muzzle acquired its former appearance. The puppy began to smell again when the nose began to breathe with renewed vigor. The owner of Chunky does not stop caring about him. He is a little nervous, but he is not afraid of people, as expected after that incident. He's still the same Chunky. The kid is still wagging his tail when he notices a person's attention on him. The surrounding people simply did not believe how quickly Chunky came to his senses. For violent teenagers are now banned from having animals for the next 5 years. The parents of each of them paid a fine of $770 to $4,000. The father of the instigator of the bullying paid $8,800. Thanks to a lucky chance, Chunks managed to be saved in time. The cute puppy survived incredible tortures, after which he forgave people absolutely everything, and continues to trust them. What have we done to earn their loyalty? And here's another story. Bella, a chocolate-colored Labrador, and Michael, a retired Navy sailor from Nebraska, USA, have been inseparable for 9 years, since Michael first brought a puppy into his house. One spring day, the owner and the dog went for a walk as usual. Michael noticed that the dog was falling heavily on his left front paw and decided to show his friend to the vet. The terrible news came as a complete surprise to him: Bella has bone cancer. The veterinarian's forecasts were disappointing. Michael refused to put the dog to sleep, and then he was offered to immediately amputate the affected paw. But when Bella woke up from the operation, tests showed that the disease had already affected the lungs. Bella was dying. According to experts, she had no more than 6 months to live. And then Michael decided that he should spend as much time with her as possible and make the last months of his friend's life really special. "I couldn't imagine that one day I would come home and find her dead," Michael explained to his friends. The man packed his things and together with his dog went on a trip around the country. The veterinarians were wrong. For almost a year, a man and a dog have been traveling around the country. Bella loves to swim and enjoys every minute of life next to her beloved owner. The inseparable duo lives either in Michael's car or spends the night with friends and strangers. Michael talks about his adventures on social networks, and millions of eyes follow them with interest. Michael and Bella already have their fans online, they support friends, offer them shelter and food, cheer for them all with their hearts. For several years, Michael lost two close people one after another and therefore simply could not accept another loss. Going on a trip, he hoped that the wind of change would help him heal his emotional wounds. When you see how a person passes away without deciding on what he always dreamed of, you start to think. It seems to me that my journey with Bella is exactly what I have to do now. And what about Bella? Her illness has not receded, but is developing more slowly than experts predicted. The dog spends every minute with his beloved owner and looks absolutely happy. Maybe it was happiness that became the best medicine for her. And here's another story. There is always an explanation for the strange behavior of dogs, and there is also a lot of evidence for the theory that they feel when something is wrong. This story only confirms this. The wedding, which took place in Nigeria, was nothing remarkable. Everything was standard: love, newlyweds, guests. No one was expecting trouble, except for one dog, which will become a real hero a little later. This incident occurred last spring when a large group of people gathered at a wedding in Belbello, Nigeria. The celebration was attended by most of the villagers, who had no idea that their lives were in danger. In the middle of the solemn event, a young woman began to approach the crowd. She hid a bomb under her dress and was determined to set it off among people. But the dog, which belonged to one of the guests, quickly realized what was happening. The four-legged hero rushed to the woman and attacked her. The dog prevented the detonation of an improvised explosive device attached to a minor terrorist at a wedding, police spokesman Victor told the Telegraph portal. Instead of the tragic outcome that would have occurred if a bomb had exploded in the middle of a crowd, the explosion thundered away from people. Both the suicide bomber and the dog died, but thanks to the brave act of the brave animal, all the wedding guests remained unharmed. Now the dog is called a hero, and the villagers will always remember with gratitude the four-legged friend who sacrificed himself to save people. Of course, a dog has always been a person's best friend. They are accustomed from birth to serve and help people in everything, even if the person is not familiar to the dog. The feelings of these animals towards us are sincere and angelically pure. And of course we should appreciate it. If you liked the story, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like it, and share it with friends and family.